Hi, Ivan. Great job.
Thank you.
Do you have advice on how you share work once it's complete?
Yeah, I mentioned earlier that I love making the work, and I also think that like sharing it out is a really important part of the process. And I find a lot of folks kind of get this wrong. A lot of creative folks think like, oh, if I just make the thing, the audience will, naturally find it. And I really think that's a misnomer. I think that if you put a lot of passion and time into something, it's worth putting that same level of intensity that you made the thing with to like get it out in the world. And maybe that means like emailing your friends. Maybe it means like posting a bunch about that project. We at the studio have been prototyping this idea of friends over algorithms, where we'll have like a media, like an advertising budget of $1,000 and offer to Venmo the first 100 people that share our project $10. And so it's just a way of being like, we could put that on like promoted Instagram things, but we're just gonna like Venmo our friends $10, and that's something that we're like trialing out. So I think it's just worth really taking that kind of like we call impact really seriously, and not underestimating the importance of that phase to get your work seen. Yeah, there's a couple.
Sure. Hi, I'm Life. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. That was awesome. As a creative, as an artist and a writer, I loved what you shared, and I was wondering if you could share that little process between having the spark of the idea, getting into bed, and getting up and doing it. Because I will be walking down the street, and I got to stop and write. So I want to hear your take on it.
I mean, it sounds like if you're walking down the street and then you stop, and do you actually stop to write?
Yeah, I'll move to the side.
So I think you've got it. We've got the same process, baby. I think I guess it's a little bit of like this torturous mindset of like always kind of in the back of my mind holding these different prompts, and like one was like the SF MoMA thing, so it's like always somewhere in there. And I feel like when I'm, different people, it's like in the shower, on a run. For me, it's like when I'm going to bed at night, that's just stewing. And I think I guess the question is like, when do you actually get up, and when are you like, no, I need a full night's sleep? And in that case, I just made the call of like, I think it's just like a how inspired are you meter. And I think we all have that barometer, right? It's like, oh, 3 out of 10 inspired, or excited, or excited. Maybe I'm not gonna get out of bed, but if it's like a 7 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10, like I'm gonna get out of bed and write on it, yeah. So, yeah, Justin. Speak up.
Mike, wait. Also, there's a question back there.
I have a question.
Okay, cool.
Hi, Ivan. Thank you so much for your talk. This is great. You kind of began the talk with the whole art and commerce and finding the sweet spot. And so I have 2 questions, if that's allowed. The first one is, do you think you found that sweet spot? And the second question is, do you still make time for just your own art outside of commerce?
Yeah. Whether or not I found this sweet spot is totally dependent on where I am in the year, as like any independent creative or small business will tell you. So like right now I'm coming off this like bananas 5 months of just like nonstop work, and I'm like probably further on the like commercial work side, but now everything's slowing down and I get to like really put time into the feature documentary I'm working on, and that's definitely like the art. So it's never perfect 50-50, it's a pendulum. I really think about life as just a pendulum, and so it's like, okay, one extreme, the other extreme, and both of them complement each other. And yeah, I think that's the best answer I can give.
Can our 30-second pitch fans meet me down here? Still more questions, but just 30-second pitchers.
Hi, Ivan. Longtime fan, very proud of you. You said, your childhood you felt very disconnected from people and very alienated. What has surprised you the most about now being connected to people and finding so much humanity?
Okay, well first, Justin's being kind of coy, but I've watched his talks when I was like in college and was like, this guy's amazing, and like definitely one of the people that inspires me, so it means a lot to have you here. And the question is what surprised me about having like, I guess like how down people are and how it's like not, I feel like when people are kids and like I got bullied growing up, like it can be like pretty intense. And I feel like by and large as an adult, you get to like pick and choose the people that you want to hang out with. And I feel like most people are like even if they were bullies as kids, they like grow up and they're like, okay, it's probably better to be a nice person. So I guess I've even like become friends with people that were like not the nicest to me growing up and have been like, hey, I'm really sorry about that. So yeah, that'd be my response.
I'm just going to ask one more question.
All
The
right.
last one. I believe you no longer live in the city, right? Can you talk a bit about environment for you and being creative?
Yeah, so my wife and I live in the Catskills, and I mean, for a while we would like move around and like rent a place in New York for a while, be in California. We're trying to really like double down on just being in the Hudson Valley. And I guess I haven't really thought too much about this, but I think being free of so much distraction is probably really helpful for my like mental and psychic space and just having like more quiet. And I feel like as creative people, it's important. I don't think you need to live outside of the city to get that, but I do think it's really important to find pockets of silence, whether that means like sleeping with the phone outside of your bedroom or what have you. But yeah, that would probably be it. So thank you. Thanks, everybody.